There we go. Got the sound going. Welcome, everybody. It's TheoTRADE Chat. It's Don Kaufman here. It's March 28th, 2024. It's a Thursday, but it's kind of like synthetic Friday because the market's closed on Friday, except for PCE numbers, which are coming out on Friday morning, which makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why do they have to do that? Okay, why? No, I was messing with the sound over here for a second. I'm having problems this morning. there's there's not enough caffeine to go around. That's the real problem. Um, music from 2004. I'm sorry, Vin. It's the only thing that doesn't suck in the last 2 decades. Okay, is that what you want to hear in terms of music? All right. With that being said, the S&P futures are massively unchanged this morning. We're not doing very much volume, are we? 159,000. I was there's a long story behind this, but I'll explain this after. I was looking at markets. Everybody's like, "Oh, the rally yesterday." Look, where are we right now? This was the start of the week, which is 52, let's call it 35. We're trading 52, we'll call it 50. We're 15 points higher on the week. We've done absolutely nothing. We're just kind of skirting along over here. I'm sure that Jeff Bierman was screaming aloud yesterday into the close, window dressing. These are the things that I picture. Okay. Me, I got my phone taken away from me yesterday, about 10 minutes to go to the close. I was apparently being a bad individual with my phone yesterday. I'll explain more after the cash open. I got in trouble. Anyway, the S&Ps are going to open massively unchanged. There was GDP numbers that were revised this morning with sorry, I'm laughing about the 4-day week comment in here. Another 4-day week. Okay, I know it's a conspiracy. Yeah. Anyway, the GDP numbers this morning, they came out, they were really hot. It didn't really have much of an impact to the marketplace. It was higher, it was lower. Again, we're unchanged in here. When it comes to the advanced decline line this morning, so we only have 45 seconds to cash open. I don't know why I'm hurrying, like nothing's going to happen. But the financials, they're up by like 5 cents. Jump to the energy sector because oil is bid. There is movement in the energy sector this morning. It's got a decent bid under it. Nvidia continues to be the problem child of the marketplace. 2 days back to back of sell side activity. As we come into the cash open, you should recognize that Nvidia is literally sitting on its lower edge of the expected move. Let's get to it this morning. Not a lot of expectations. Slop fest of an advanced decline line. You got that going for you. Let's come to it. At the bell, as I was saying, a little bit of a slop fest of an advanced decline line. Actually, the AD line is better than it was just like 5 minutes ago. I was actually going through it like 5 minutes ago. If you guys saw me clicking around on the screen, it's better. But the big takeaway here, and take a look at big tech. What we have termed son of I'm having problems with my mouse again. Okay, my mouse. Okay, what to do when a man's mouse is not functioning properly. Oh, that's really, really weird. Bear with me for a second. Refreshing my screen. All kinds of crazy stuff is going on. There we go. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is big tech has been kind of in the red throughout the course of the morning. Again, I wouldn't be too concerned about that, at least not early on, but big tech, maybe a little sell side activity. Amazon's basically flat. Apple's taking a little bit of a hit. Yesterday, there was, of course, the question, how with Nvidia going down did the marketplace stay flat? Because Nvidia rotated directly into Apple. Unequivocally, today is different. Today, we're actually seeing a hit across the board. They're not rotating into any of the major tech stocks today. Speaking of which, I did want to show you this though. So Nvidia, just sell side activity to the tune of about 2% yesterday. Apple, okay, some buy side activity to the tune of almost 2.5%. I watched for those rotations because it was literally like, let's go here, let's go here. As I say, it's kind of like everybody runs to one side of the boat, everybody runs to the other side of the boat. Well, the boat today is filled with big tech. Big tech that can take the boat down. I'm looking at Netflix for a brief moment too. There's a big sell-off in Netflix yesterday, seemingly out of nowhere. By the way, this is not Netflix is unequivocally not going to cause any performance problems inside of Nasdaq. I just find it interesting and tradable. The only problem with Netflix is Netflix always releases their earnings like early. You can see they're usually one of the first major. What do you call Netflix tech? Okay, media company tech. I don't know what the hell to call anybody anymore. Anyway, Nvidia is going to be in scope today for a significant portion of today's trading session. Meanwhile, we've seen activity in Nvidia, specifically yesterday on the put side. We'll see if that actually follows through today. Look, you're early into a trading day. We have, and again, say what you will, it's fine. We haven't done anything on the week. When you start a week at 35 and you're trading at 46, you've done nothing. Window dressing, really? Okay, what are we buying this week? Oh, well, we decided to buy some Caterpillar because we needed some Caterpillar. We needed those financials because that's happening. But big tech, you would think if there's window dressing, you think that big tech would obviously be involved because this is your number one performing stock pretty much, and also the third largest market cap. Meanwhile, Microsoft has had spectacular performance, but I can argue that everybody already owns all of these. They already own all of these. By the way, the reason I was looking at Netflix is Netflix also has had spectacular performance. Spectacular performance. I'm not going to diminish that at all. This thing was 35%. That's a real sell-off though yesterday, and that's why I'm looking at it. Netflix, for years was this heavy volatility, and it's really kind of died out. It's not even a 30% vol. Just to give you comparison, like Tesla, okay, and Tesla's a wild child. Not really. Nvidia is a wild child, but Tesla has almost double the volatility now. Tesla has almost double the volatility of like a Netflix. Things come and go. Look at Meta. Meta's volatility is now to 30%. That's a big stock for 30% implied volatility. In any regard, let's take a quick glance over at the Google. Google's performance this year has been kind of in line thus far at the first quarter. So we're end of the first quarter. End of the quarter. Can you believe it? Okay. It was like Happy New Year. That felt like a day ago. Okay. Happy New Year. Okay. It's over. Was that in never mind. I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Anyway, yeah, I'm watching Jamesy, I am definitely watching XLE. In fact, with XLE, ooh, let's get our orders working. I had a bunch of crap I've done in here over time. Okay, I was buying back some stock the other day in here too. But it's a good thing I bought back the stock. That was covering some short positions. Cover your Look at that. XLE now is at 94. I was covering at 81, 84. Get out of the contest. Okay, so 94 cents. So here we go. Let's figure it out and put up a GTC. So I paid 94 cents for the trade. I multiply it by 1.55, which represents 55% gain. I want to be exiting this thing at about $1.45. Sound about right to everybody? About $1.45. So you come in here, you create opposite order. You don't put in 94 cents. You put in what? $1.45. Now, if I put in $1.45, I work a one lot. I don't do a day order. I go to GTC, which stands for good till canceled. He hits confirm and send. He sends the trade. The fans go wild. What do you got over here? Now I have a working order in GTC, just so everybody would be brought up to speed. I know people are like, holy crap, he went through that very quickly. Okay. You could do the exact same thing right here in Tasty. I don't have that trade in Tasty, but I have other trades in Tasty. In Tasty, if I were to do the same thing, I would come in here, highlight the legs. See, I'm clicking left click, highlight the legs, right click. Okay. Do we know the difference between a left click and a right click? You're like, no, man, I have a Mac. I have one large button, all these fingers and nothing to do with them. That is the one thing that always bothered me. And then somebody's like, "You don't understand Mac, man. We have gestures." Yeah, I got a gesture for you. Okay. It only takes one finger too. Anyway, you can go into close the position. You're thinking about that one, aren't you? You go into close the position in here. So I'll do it again. Highlight, left click, right click, close position. Close position, put in the suggested price and TIF. Okay. Thank God it's Friday. It's time and force. Okay. The hell's wrong with you? Go over here to GTC and then review and send. Everybody good? Okay. I've got your gesture right here. Do we have any Mac people? Do we have any Mac people? I know I woke up this morning in this, I'm in a mood today, which I've got inner circle today, which is about an hour and a half. And then I'm actually going to do like an ultimate coaching session, which is another hour and a half. You guys you're all screwed in those two sessions. It's going to be going downhill. Hmm. Anyway, yeah, I have Mac too. Okay. I have Mac and it's under a bunch of crap. I have Mac. I'm going to give it to, look at that, disappearing Mac. I'm going to give it to the kids because I don't like that thing. I really, you know what? For traveling and for like email, it's unbelievable. Honestly, it's unbelievable. I don't really like it for trading. That's the only thing. And I'll be honest, I really don't like it for trading because I don't like the gestures. One thing you get used to when you've traded for like a long time, when you're a PC person, the mouse thing does make a big difference. And I've tried programming other stuff for Mac. I'm pretty familiar with how to do that. It's not the same. The other thing that drives me insane is using multiple monitors. Okay, donate Mac. Yeah, that Mac is going to be donated to a child because every kid in the damn schools now, you have to, bring your own computer if you want, but no kid ever brings like a PC because it's taboo. When you're like 14-year-old girl, you can't possibly have a PC. Uh, Although my daughter secretly has a gaming laptop because she understands. She's like, I need a secondary video card, not that crap that's on the chipset. When she said that to me, and I'm like, okay, if you speak my language, I'm down with that, right? And then she was like, I would like an Nvidia 4070, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Anyway, so yeah, all the kids at the school though carry Macs, and it's sick and wrong, I tell you. Okay, it's a freaking conspiracy. Nobody wants to pull out their like. You ever guys ever seen like Dell owns Alienware? The computer's like this big. It's like a laptop. It's bigger than my desktop. Okay, Alienware. There's like two people to pick it up and put it out over there. I saw one computer. It actually had two power cords into it. I'm not joking because it had like multiple video cards in it. It's good stuff. So they're saying they run a Mac Mini. Actually, a Mac Mini is not bad, man. It's not about lagging and so forth. It's just a little harder to set up the multiple monitors. So I've used for my setup here, I've used PC for a lot of years. But that also, to be fair, that comes from thinkorswim. Thinkorswim. A lot of people don't know this about thinkorswim because people always complain it runs terribly. Okay, thinkorswim was built on Mac, 100%. The original versions of thinkorswim, all the way back to 99, 2000, 2001. It was all built on. It was coded on Mac. Yeah, the guy that built it, the chief technology officer, he is a Mac person. He wouldn't even touch like a PC. But then, funny enough, the developers that ended up building most of the structure in the thing, they were predominantly PC people. Yeah, interesting stories. Okay, we're not allowed to say this. They're Eastern European. They're Russian, but they're Eastern European. I don't even like when I say that. Eastern European. TOS runs better on Mac, no question. What? There's no chance. Well, today it doesn't. It used to. But you obviously, if TOS runs better on your Mac, Mac extremely, extremely well. Yeah, I saw Nvidia's actually got a little bit of a bid back under it. There's no surprise over here. We'll see if it actually holds up. But here's the interesting, ironic twist. Now we're rotating out of Apple. I'm keeping an eye on Meta as well. But I mean, it's not often that you see we're 11 minutes into a trading day and absolutely nothing has transpired. So, bubble. We have Chicago PMI, no one cares about. We have consumer sentiment. There it is, people. University of Michigan, the 420 sentiment indicator. So, what do we have coming? Well, that's one I would actually watch, and I'll create an alarm for it. So we'll put the alarm in here, okay? And let's just not even label it because no one gives a crap anyway. How the consumer sentiment has become like a thing is beyond me. Because, by the way, preliminary estimates month to month are released mid-month that are based on about 420 respondents. Estimates released in the near future of the month are based on about 600 respondents. I just don't know even where they come up with this crap because it is just that. All right. There's one person that's having issues with sound. Okay. You're damn right it's you. All right, so there's not a huge amount to go over other than the XLE is on the dance floor for profitability. Okay, it's backing off here a little bit. Again, I wish I would say that, there's a feel for trade right now, but just take a look with me at volume for a second. Okay, because I can see this on another screen. I don't mind telling you. There's times where I was like, no, this is going on, but I see it on another screen over here. There's no volume today. None. You're 13 minutes into a trading day. You have a couple of spikes of volume, but the spike is at 5,000 contracts. We're already down to like 2,500 contracts. Now, time out. Does that mean that we can't move? Absolutely, unequivocally not. There's one thing that has surprised me. Okay. Just bear with me for 1 second. Bear with me for 1 second. So one of the things looking in here in terms of volume being incredibly light, you still have to recognize, doesn't matter what Jeff Bierman or I might say about light volume, okay? The expected move has come down a little bit. The expected move for today was about 23 bucks, it's still at 17 bucks. It is, okay, the end of the quarter. There are a whole lot of trades that have to go off because it's the end of the quarter. And that is going to be of importance today. Look, that's not small open interest. I mean, compared to some of the like some of the monthly stuff that's done, and of course, scrolling. Okay, some of the triple witching stuff, but there's a lot of open interest. There's some size trading in here. There's a whole lot of open interest. By the way, just because I'm pointing out 5,200 does not imply that we're going to 5,200. There's also decent open interest right where we're at here. Okay, but there's a huge amount of option premium that settles today. And settles at the close. This is quarterlies are PM settlement. Again, quarterlies are PM settlement. There's no, if there's any bias right now, of course, people that window dresses into the end of the quarter. Okay. But we're trading right now, 53.11. This is, for the most part, if you look at the 30-day 1 hour, okay, it is fairly well charted territory. We've been here now for about a week. Okay, we're just kind of humming along right in this area. So it's funny because I've been yelling now 53.11. That's previous Thursday. This is this Thursday. We're exactly where we were. So there isn't You know, if you look today, there isn't much bias to the marketplace. You can look at all the ticks you want. It's kind of tick is a moot point. The advanced decline line is positive today, but it's positive, but you still have, you know, Meta taking a pretty good hit, Apple taking a pretty good hit. Unless Nvidia caught fire, you really can't get out of your own way today. You know, there's like this constant, like, you know, rotation going on inside some of the tech stocks over there. And that's the trading day right now, the rotations of the trading day. Tesla, I wanted to bring up Tesla for a moment. It has had a stellar week to the upper edge of an expected move. Meanwhile, take a look at Meta. It's the exact opposite. I don't think a lot of people realized Meta this week outside the lower edge of an expected move. Meanwhile, Apple, okay, Apple this week after getting hit early in the week, back to almost unchanged. Microsoft, lower edge of the expected move. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if somebody said that Microsoft is lower edge of the expected move, okay, Meta, way outside its expected move, right there with those two stocks, you probably would have said, oh man, this week must have been a rough week, okay? But no, we're seeing rotations, okay? And the rotations in Apple, it's not even a positive one, okay? Amazon is up on the week. Google, okay? Google is basically flat on the week. Nvidia is just skirting the lower edge of the expected move. Anyway, it's an interesting picture this week because big tech is clearly kind of stagnating. I don't want to say it's selling off because it's not. I mean, look at the QQQ, stagnated. Meanwhile, the S&Ps, bring up the spiders for a second, they're up, okay? They're up on the week. So how are the S&Ps up on the week? A little bit of financials, which is upper edge of the expected move, okay? A hint of energy sector, which is also basically upper edge of the expected move in the energy sector. And that's your trading week. I would assume today that we would not only continue to see some of the allocation shifts inside of tech. I assume that we'd see a little bit more sell side activity in some of the tech stocks, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Again, I don't get into the idea of like window dressing too much, okay? But I definitely look at like rotations. And this week, to be, you know, if they're consistent with what they've done with the previous portion of the week, this week, we've been rotating out of some of the tech stocks. You just kind of get this feeling like there's just nowhere else to rotate into. I mean, do you really want to buy financials here? Okay. Energy. I can make arguments why you would want to buy energy. I mean, oil could shoot to $100 a barrel, okay, in no time. And I'm serious about that. There's a lot of reasons that oil could really just take off to the upside right now. But you know, again, people they talk about rebalancing because you know on Tuesday, look, there was a pension fund on Tuesday, a bunch of morons that actually ran a program late in the day. Okay, it was they were rebalancing. They were this. Okay, when you are a pension fund and you are going to run like sell side, they could have VWAP'd that over a period of like 8 to 10 days, trading days. They did it all in like 8 to 10 minutes, and it caused some sell side activity in an illiquid day. Is that smart? Absolutely not. It's absolutely sheer stupidity on their behalf. Some of these funds actually try to trade themselves, and they don't really have traders there. Most of the big funds, people don't know this, they hire traders. Okay. They hire people that sit in front of screens just like me. Okay. And they go click on the button, and those firms have algorithms and so forth. It was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous in here. Anyway, with that, as we're kind of sputtering along, I am a little surprised the Nasdaq's up, but the Nasdaq is up, predicated on there's an attempt in Nvidia to create a bid under it again. So let's go look at it. There's an attempt in Nvidia. Look at this. Yeah, there's call buying. There's call buyers. They're back. Okay. Might I suggest, and again, I have nothing to base this on other than all the trade that we've seen earlier this week. Might I suggest Nvidia will stall. It's going to stall and fall back. And I'm going to say exactly why I believe just that. I don't think the call buying is nearly fierce enough in here. I think it's a pretty meager attempt. I think it's an unusual time of the trading session. It's very early on, okay, and it'll probably slip back to some degree, okay. And again, I have nothing to base that on other, okay, than the number of calls being sold versus the number of calls being bought. It's almost equivalent. I'm surprised there's no put buyers showing up in here today. The one thing though, for those of you that are a little more bullish in Nvidia, okay, it looks like we're rotating back out of Apple, okay. Most definitely it's taking a little bit of hit inside of Meta too. And I assume that like Meta might roll back over, Apple will continue to kind of roll back over here as well. We'll see how this goes. Again, tech, it's just, it's this week not doing well. And there's been a lot of discussion as well about insider selling. I don't know if anybody's seen the articles. Jeff Bierman was dropping me the articles about insider selling and so forth. Some of the big tech companies. I put absolutely unequivocally no emphasis to that whatsoever. I think it's worthless. Insider selling, who cares? Okay. You saw like, Meta, Zuck is actually selling. Bezos, they sell every freaking year. This was a big year for Zuckerberg. He built like a whole fortress in Hawaii. The guy bought like, it may be $1 billion boat. It's a big year for him. I mean, you can put the insider selling, okay, and link it directly to some of the crap that he's actually bought over there. And if you think about what he has to sell, I mean, you got to sell like $1 billion of stock to have what, 600 million in free cash, because there's some tax on that. I know they don't pay tax either, right? Anyway, so Hash was asking why the VIX hasn't collapsed. Yeah, so I'm looking at that, and it already has. So the volatility already got sucked out, okay, and then it got sucked out some more. I think volatility is basically, it found the floor. It's lying dead on the floor at this point. Even the volatility futures, I wouldn't anticipate them to go down very much. I wouldn't look at that as, ooh, this is risky though. The consumer sentiment that comes out in 6 minutes though it's important. Okay. I mean, again, the only thing I really have on the dance floor today is, so XLE is making a couple of bucks. Boeing, let's bring up Boeing for a second. So I put a Boeing trade on. I'm looking for Boeing to touch back down into this neighborhood here. I think it's going to retest the 180. And the way that I traded Boeing, okay, was literally, I don't need it. By the way, I think it's going to test down to 180, but I don't need it at 180. I need it, a little bit lower than it presently is. We're in good shape in the Boeing position. It got a bid back under it, but if you look at Boeing on the week, okay, kind of middle of the road. It bounced a little bit yesterday. No feeling on that one. Up I didn't set the damn alarm at 6:55. Guys saw it, man. I put it in. Everything's messing up over here. Okay. That's what I want. Bad animal. Bad animal. All right. So, I was going to tell you guys yesterday, I saw the market running up yesterday, and I was on my mobile device. So I was on my mobile device yesterday. My kids had half a day. They had a half day 3 days this week. Like, what the hell's the point of going to school? They just have half days. They had half days 3 days this week. And they had half days because of parent teacher conferences. So I got dragged into parent teacher conferences. There's only like a couple weeks left of school. What the hell's the point of having parent teacher conferences? It's just April and like half of May. There's like 6-7 weeks left of school. I don't do anything the last week of school. There's like 6 weeks left of school, and I had to go to parent teacher conferences. So I was not enthusiastic about the program. Anyway, my wife drove, and I'm like looking at the phone the whole time, and the market started to rally up just a little bit. It's like that was like 30 minutes to go to the close. Anyway, I'm in this parent teacher conference yesterday, and apparently I was not only looking at my phone while in the conference, I was also making comments. My phone was confiscated by my wife at that point in time. And then they were drawing, parallels between the middle child, myself, and our inability to be focused at any point in time. Stuff really pisses me off. I have not done well in parent-teacher conferences, apparently, thus far. I don't think it's gonna happen for me, people. Okay, the parent-teacher conferences thing. I am now, not only am I not banned from parent-teacher conference, now she's gonna make me go to all of them. I was like, I don't even know what I was saying. I may have said something along of son of a baby monkey, could have been, but I was not pleased with the outcome of it. Anyway, she takes the phone away from me, and there's literally, like, if you guys saw yesterday's close, okay, it's only a few minutes to the close, and you can imagine when she was driving, it was somewhere right around here. Okay, I lost phone somewhere right around there, and I'm like, okay, 5,300. And then I definitely was mumbling something about 5,311, and you beep, beep, beep. This is where the phone was taken away. I missed that. Then we came right back down to kind of where the phone was taken away in the first place. So I didn't even like say anything to her after that. I'm like, yeah, I definitely deserve to have my phone taken away. At, I'm getting a little bit smarter. I'm just rolling over like a dog that has been beaten on my back in the conference. Big misunderstanding. Big. Okay. And then I said something along the lines of paying for his school. And she looks at me and she was like, it's public school, idiot. Anyway, public school. Okay. All right. Bear with me here for just a minute. Oh, Tony Rago is going to be joining us in a moment. So I think it is. Anyway, Tony's coming on here. Anyway, as I was saying here, we're going to wait for the consumer confidence number to come out because that can actually move markets a little bit. In fact, I'm going to show you something interesting. Right before this consumer confidence number comes out, you're going to see implied volatility possibly drop thereafter. All right. Sorry, I'm just checking. There's my consumer confidence alarm. I have confidence in my alarm. So with that being said, there's a $17 expected move. Actual move, 0. That's pretty much what you got going for you over here today. Well, it's not exactly like enthralling trade right now, but I will say this: I'm even surprised the expected move is this high. If you take a look at the S&P options on futures, S&P options and futures, one of the things that does surprise me, you know what? Forget it. I'll look at the SPX for this. Here comes the that number. The SPX. One of the things that surprises me is like Monday's implied volatility is relatively low as well, and we have that number coming out tomorrow. So batter up. Look, consumer confidence. You guys know how I feel about this number. I think it's absolute garbage, but it can move markets. I mean, there's a reason, and there's a reason there's a $17 expected move in here. And here it is. So consumer confidence is obviously out. By the way, please, I don't need to see the number. Okay, I really don't need to see the number, but I do find it interesting because it can change the pace of an entire trading session, especially in a day that's what I would term hopelessly trendless, trendlessly hopeless. Financials are coming in a little bit. Energy kind of came in a little bit. As I said about Nvidia, should probably pull back a little. That's not nearly as much as I would have anticipated, however. So I am going to turn it over to Tony Rago here momentarily. This is a Thursday. This is when we actually bring Tony Rago to scalp some Nasdaq futures with you. He'll have his work cut out for him over there. There's a little bit of a bid back under the NQ though right now. So are you there, Tony? Are you okay to go?
I am
All
ready
right.
to rock.
You know your name is Jeff Roth in there. You can change
Oh,
that. Yeah,
geez,
yeah.
I need to
All right.
change it again.
We'll stop and restart and get everything going over here. But you can see S&P is bidding back up. People, that's why we have to know what and when some of the numbers coming out are. That's amazing that we're only averaging right now less than 2,000 S&P contracts a minute. Spiked to 5,000, changed the entire bias in the marketplace in a matter of seconds. Tech though still looks like it's in some degree of trouble. Market's bidding up, and I got to tell you, it's just sloptastic out there. Stay tuned. Tony Rago is coming on in just a minute.